Well, welcome again to Whitebeard's Kitchen. So, just a bit of bread baking from me today. And what I'm going to do is a traditional Irish Raisin Soda Bread. So what I have in here is 400 grams of strong bread flour. So what I'm going to do now is add in 15 grams of bicarbonate of soda or bread soda. I put that in. I've actually just want to sieve that. So as well, don't want any lumps. Certainly if not bicarbonate of soda, that's the last thing you want. So now to give it a bit of a mix, just to make sure that the baking soda, and I've also added in as well 10 grams of salt. So just to make sure that the salt and the baking soda is evenly distributed, because what you don't want is the taste of baking soda on one side of your bread. So that's that in, so that's pretty well mixed. So now in with 60 grams of caster sugar, and again, just give that a bit of a mix through. Okay, so that's that evenly distributed. And the next thing is buttermilk, and it's 330 mils. And then what I have here is 100 grams, and I'm mixing, so it's 50 grams of sultana and 50 grams of raisin. I know it says it's a raisin bread, but hey ho, sometimes I find that raisins maybe burn a bit. So the good old wooden spoon, now to kind of mix this together, and I'm not going to run the camera for the whole time that I mix this. So what I want to do is bring all that bread, flour, the fruit, the sugar, and obviously the buttermilk together. So I'll be back and show you what it's like when I have it ready. So here we are. So that's the bread mix done. Now, it is slightly ever so sticky, as you can imagine. So I'm just going to rub my hands with a little bit of the bread flour. And I'm going to bring this together as best as possible in the bowl. So make sure that I've got everything, any bits of flour and that. So just give it a, don't want to work it too much. So, we are. Just get a bit more flour on my hands. So, hopefully you can see this with me moving the bowl about. There we are, ever so slightly brought it over. Just move this out of the way, just for a second. I have just parchment paper in a baking tray. Now to transfer my little soda bread over onto this, and what I'm going to do, try and make it into as even as possible. There we go. And turn it round this way to me. So, roughly, if I can make it roughly about, near enough about 2 inches in height and 8 to 9 inches kind of across. For me, that looks as even as I can possibly get it. I don't want to overwork the dough. So just what I'm going to do is, I'm going to cut kind of across through the soda bread. And
to let the fairies out.
And as you can hear my wife, what do you call it, in the background there, quite right. This is a bit of an old traditional thing here in Ireland. It is to let the fairies out indeed. So, right down the loaf. This will now go into the oven. It's 180 degrees centigrade for a normal conventional oven. I'm going to say 160 for a fan oven. Every oven's slightly different. I'm going to say it needs to bake for about 25 to 28 minutes. And then on this side, and then have a wee look at it, see if it's cooked properly. Then what I'll do is, hopefully it'll solidify it a bit. I'll then flip it over and bake it for another roughly maybe 8 to 10 minutes so that the bottom part is facing upward. I'll let you see what it's like when it's cooked. So here we are, folks. This is the Raisin Irish Soda Bread. So what I'm going to do now is just flip it over. All being well, it's just out of the oven. Hopefully I'll not burn the hands of myself when I do this. Ever so slightly. Flip it over onto this side and then pop it back into the oven again. And yes, you'll see there's that bits of flour at the bottom, but hey ho, you know, you can brush a wee bit of that off, it'll be cooked through. Here we are, this is it, done. It was in the oven roughly for about another 12 minutes, as I say, face side down. And I don't know whether you can hear that, but if you hear that hollow sound, that you know fine rightly that it's cooked through. So I'm just going to leave it on this rack for about 5 minutes, and then I'm going to take a slice, because there's nothing like a good old wallop or dollop of Irish butter on this. Absolutely lovely. You can put jam on it or whatever you like as well, but just plain old butter is as good as anything. So I'll let you know what it's like, and I'll show you my big slice. Well, there we are. Just thought I'd let you see what it's like, kind of in the middle. Looks great. Now I'm going to have a little bit. Dead simple. Great for St Patrick's Day, for those that want to maybe treat their friends coming round to the house for a cup of tea or a cup of coffee in my case, or indeed even with an Irish coffee. I thought I'd show you my lather of butter, and now I'm going to munch it. Well folks, here we are. The proof's in the pudding, and it's not a pudding of course. Absolutely delicious. Do try it. Wee bit of a crunch on the top, the bottom. Absolutely soft as anything on the inside. You can taste the raisins and sweetness coming out of the bread. Nothing like it with Irish butter. From Whitebeard's Kitchen, bye for now. Look after yourselves, friends, family, and not all. Until the next time. Bye.